Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Chantel Greig. I am a wife and stay-at-home mom to 3 girls. They are 6, 4, and 2 years old. In today's video, I will be making a delicious dinner for Valentine's Day, including an easy crock-pot roasted chicken dinner, a holiday broccoli and cheese casserole, served with some roasted carrots and cranberry sauce. Today is a cook with me, so I'm going to be sharing with you how I cook all of these things. The ingredients are listed down below as well as the recipe. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button. It just makes it so next week you'll be the first to know when my next video comes out. And if you are an old friend, as always, welcome back. I'm so blessed to have you. The first thing I'm going to be making is this super easy and delicious crock-pot chicken recipe. I use an entire whole chicken for this. Buying a whole chicken is the cheapest way to purchase chicken, and when it's done, I save the leftovers for my lunches. So that one was about $6, and the rest of my ingredients are garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning. I use Himalayan pink salt, but feel free to use whichever salt you would like, as well as some olive oil, pepper, and some chopped up garlic. I will also be adding some carrots to mine. I only had about a half a bag left, but it ended up being perfect for my family, and I like to do that so the chickens can sit on top of the carrots and not soak in all the juices. Now I'm just going to be spraying my crock pot down with some coconut oil spray. You can use whichever oil spray that you prefer. I do this to prevent the chicken from sticking onto the side when it's all finished. After I put the chicken on top of the carrots, I take a paper towel and just pat the skin down. This makes it so the skin gets a lot crispier than if you were to just let it be. Now I'll be adding about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I added a little bit extra, but feel free to add as much or as little as you want. And the ingredients are all listed down below, so you can write it down in your recipe book, but I'll let you know as I go too. So I'm just adding some salt and pepper to it. Again, use as much or as little as you want. For this, I do like to add a little bit extra seasoning to make sure it gives the chicken a lot of flavor. And after I added the salt and pepper, I'm just going to be adding some onion powder. You want to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of onion powder, some garlic powder, again about 1 to 2 tablespoons, and about 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. This gives it a lot of flavor, and if you don't have Italian seasoning, you can use crushed oregano or crushed basil. Now, the best thing I like to do is add some fresh minced garlic. I'm doing probably 1 heaped tablespoon, and it does make a difference in your chicken. It makes it really flavorful and really juicy. The last ingredient for the chicken is this delicious balsamic vinegar. You only want to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons as well. This I actually got from a special little oil and vinegar store. It is a red apple balsamic vinegar. If you don't find it, because I don't know how much of a specialty product that is, feel free to use regular balsamic vinegar. It'll do the same. Now that all the ingredients are in there, you want to cook this on low for about 6 to 8 hours. The second thing we're going to be cooking is the broccoli and cheese casserole. This recipe is so delicious, and it's actually really easy. This is not one of my super healthy meals, but it's just something we usually have around the holiday. It was passed down to me from my mother-in-law, who makes it on holidays as well. The ingredients for this recipe are also written down below, but they are a stack of crackers, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 sticks of butter, a 32-gram bag of frozen broccoli. They are just the large bag, but they didn't have it at my store, so I added a second bag to it. Over on my stove, I'm just boiling a large pot of water to put the broccoli in. You want to heavily salt that water too. And you also want 1 stick of the Velveeta cheese. While the water is starting to boil for my broccoli, I'm going to go ahead and start melting that butter. I am just melting it on a low heat at about 3 to 4, and you want to stir it consistently to make sure it doesn't burn. While I was watching this video, I realized how dirty my oven and stove was, so I went ahead and bought a stainless steel cleaner, and I'm planning on doing a clean with me very soon. I'm adding that 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce into the melted butter. The next thing you want to add is that block of Velveeta cheese. It's going to take a while for it to melt down, but I still recommend keeping the burner on low. The water started to boil for my broccoli, so I went ahead and added the frozen bag of broccoli right in there, and I put the lid on, boiling it on like a medium boil, not too rapid, and preheating my oven to 350 degrees for the broccoli and cheese casserole. Over here we have the cheese mixture to go over the casserole. You want to stir the butter and Velveeta consistently, that way it mixes in together really well and it doesn't burn or stick to the bottom. While the butter and the cheese are melting and the broccoli is cooking, both of those take about 5 to 6 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and crush half the stack of Ritz crackers. You can use Ritz or any type of cracker, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to just be adding it to the bottom of my casserole dish, that way I don't have to make 2 dishes when I'm mixing the mixture together. I'm just stirring the broccoli and the cheese to make sure it's cooking properly. And I had my husband film this little part. He happened to be home for dinner, and I don't know, I think he said something funny and I just started laughing, but I don't know what he said. But now I'm mixing that Velveeta cheese. As you can see, it has that really rich velvety texture. That's when you know it's done. And the broccoli is really, really bright green. That's how you can also tell it's done. I added this clip in because I wanted to show you guys that the top of my lid to my pots and pans have these holes in it that you can use as a strainer, so you don't have to take a strainer out and make it dirty. I wanted to share that with you because if you didn't know, like I did at first, that those little holes are actually a strainer for your lids. And my pots and pans are from the Emerald Lagasse collection, in case you were wondering. I will have it linked down below. Now that the broccoli is strained, I'm just adding it back into my casserole dish that already has the crushed up crackers in it. A little piece fell off of the side. And now I'm just going to be adding my cheese mixture on top. This does look like a lot and really thick, but it does tend to melt down and cook the broccoli a little bit more, and it will fit in this pan when it's done. This dish is one of my favorites. It's also from Corningware. I've had it for about 4 years now, and they do hold up really, really well. I have 2 sets of these. One is the oval set and one is the circular set. They come with a plastic lid on top of it. That way when you're done cooking, you can just stick the lid on and store it in your fridge. I like to tell people that because it makes cooking a lot easier and it makes it so you have less dishes to do when you're done cooking. This dish is so, so delicious. I normally wouldn't eat stuff like this, but I do enjoy this dinner. It's one of my husband's favorites and my kids love it too. They will all eat it when I put it on their plate. Like I said, I usually cook it around the holidays, but I figured why not make it for Valentine's Day as well. And you don't have to make these for just a special dinner. We do nice big dinners every Sunday, and it's just like a nice little treat for your family to sit down together, talk, and have some dinner together. Now I'm just taking the last of the Ritz crackers and I'm crushing them up and putting it on top before I put it in the oven. Now I'm putting it in my preheated oven at 350 degrees. You want to cook it for about 20 minutes until the top is nice and crispy. While that's baking, I'm just going to be getting our drinks all ready. I'm pouring some seltzer water for me and my oldest daughter. She loves having seltzer water if I have it. And my husband, I'm giving him some milk. And the 2 youngest, I'm giving them some milk as well. And I don't set the table every night for dinner, but sometimes it's just nice to like dress it up. And if you are making this for Valentine's Day, it is a really fun way to celebrate the evening together. You could even do this as a date night with your husband. We all eat the same meal every night together. I typically don't make 2 separate meals unless it's really a really special occasion. So you can do it as a family date night or as a date night as a couple. Having dinner together is just a really great way to connect with your family and your little ones. Something we do every night is we go around and we tell each other the best part of our day, the worst part of our day, as well as one thing that we love about each other or one thing we're grateful for. And before we eat, we always pray. And it's so cute because my youngest, she's almost 2, she will look at us and say, "God is great, God is good," if we don't pray already. So it's a nice little reminder. So now that the dinner table is all set, I'm just coming over to my crock pot and I'm using 2 really long forks, a fork and a spoon, to pick up the roasted chicken and put it into the pan. This chicken is so tender, it falls off the bone as you move it. And I'm going to be taking my broccoli and cheese casserole dish out before I put the chicken back into it. So I set the broiler on high and I just roast the chicken for about 5 minutes. That's all you need for the top of the skin to be really crispy, kind of like the rotisserie chicken that you get at your grocery store, but this way is much cheaper, much healthier, and it makes food for us for lunch for the rest of the week. This chicken came out so delicious. It always does. You don't have to put it in the broiler for a couple minutes. I just like to, like I said, to give it that nice crispy skin. Our Valentine's Day cook with me came out so delicious. That chicken was so tender and juicy. I served it with a side of just canned cranberry sauce. We use Ocean Spray. I grabbed the carrots at the bottom of the crock pot, and it has so much flavor from all that olive oil and juices. The roasted chicken was delicious, and the broccoli and cheese casserole came out so good. I went ahead and cut up the chicken and put everything on my little ones' plates before they sat down. Thank you so much for watching my Valentine's Day cook with me. If you are new, please subscribe so you can stay tuned for next week's video, where I will be sharing with you some money saving tips on your groceries this year, as well as my personal grocery haul. Until next time, my friends.
I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow.